Amazing. Well, hi, lovely people. I'm so happy to have you here. Some of you might know me, some of you might not know me, and you'll get to know me in this masterclass. And so I'm going to start. This is the secrets to hacking your hormones so you can thrive and feel your success. Okay. Even if you're like, oh, I'm so busy or I have no time, I'm doing all the things. And this is something that I am really passionate about, and you'll learn why. And I'm so happy to have you here because obviously we're here because we want to feel really good, want to balance our hormones, and want to just thrive. You know what I mean? I truly believe everyone deserves to thrive and feel their best. And so drop a yes in the chat if you're here for this. Now, another thing you're going to see me do a lot is to prompt you to drop things in the chat, to answer questions, to be engaged. And the reason why, again, the more engaged we are, the more tuned in and active we are when we're consuming information, the more we're going to absorb it. So you're going to hear me dropping things, saying things all throughout this whole thing. And that is why. Okay. So tell me where you're from. Tell me what you do. Tell me why you're here. I want to get to know you, all you lovely people. We got 3 powerhouses in the room, and I'm excited to get to know you. And you know, I actually love having smaller groups because we can chat more, we can get more intimate. I can give you more personalized advice as we go through this. I love, obviously, anyone that comes. It's great. But when it's smaller, I can tend to have more time to talk to y'all. So let me know what's up. Where do you find me? How you know me? I love having new people in my world. So I don't think I have seen Desiree here yet, or Grace. I think I connected with Grace on Instagram, and Jordan and I have been talking to DMs, but I'm always excited to do these masterclasses because I always get new people finding me and always getting new faces in my world. And I'm so excited to help new people. So let me know where you're from, what you do, why you're here, what brought you to my masterclass, what is up in the house. Also, Desiree, I love your what is that? A shawl? Your cloak? What the fuck? We're in Hogwarts. No, I'm kidding. No, like your what do you call cardigan? Yeah.
I went swimming, so it's like a cover up swimming.
Oh, it's cute. Your cloak. Well, I don't know why I said that. Whenever I say the word cloak, it reminds me of like Hagrid from Hogwarts. Anyway, your cover up is cute. Oh, we love that. I hope y'all are typing novels. What's up, Grace? What's up, Jordan? I know Jordan's baking, but like, actually, I know Jordan, but still drop in the chat. Oh, yes, amazing. Yes, Jordan. I'm tired of feeling so tired and crappy. Ooh, if that wasn't me 3 years ago. Oh, you found me from best friend. I love you found me from her podcast. Amory's literally I saw her a few days ago. She's amazing. Her podcast is incredible. Moved here from Ontario. Like where? Vancouver? Oh my God. Welcome. If you're in Vancouver, we got to meet up, girl. Yes. Amazing. Bounce day to day. 3 times. I'm just like, sorry guys. This is me. You're gonna get this is me, by the way. I'm super like all over the place, but that's so fun. 3 times. It was a really good one, honestly. When I was like talking, I was like, damn, like I don't mind. I'm pretty, I know what's up. You know what I mean? But it was a really good episode. Yes, Jordan, I love your vibe too. You're in Kits. Well, Grace, you should meet up and chat and hang out and work out together. Yes, I love that. I'm so glad. Oh, wow. Well, I love it here so much. Okay, we're going to move on. I have so much to cover for you guys. And like, I also have a meeting in an hour. I'm like, am I going to make it? But we're going to make it happen. There's going to be a lot of information. So the replay is going to be available. Also, if I talk really fast, you're like, girl, slow the fuck down. Just be like, slow down, Pearl, in the chat. Okay, and I'll slow down. But I'm so excited now. So much to cover. Okay, and my boobs are coming out. If my boobs come out, no worries. This top is a little low, but it's really cute at the same time. Anyway, Pearl, shh. Okay, we're going to... All right, ladies. Okay, so we're here today because we want to learn how to balance your hormones so you can truly thrive from the inside out. Drop a yes in the chat if that's why you're here. Well, Jordan, I think you got to come up. You got to come up to Vancouver then. I want to meet you. I want to see you. But no, that's awesome. Yeah, that's why we're here, fam. That's why we're here. And I'm so happy to help you get there. Okay. So before I start, I just want to say, like, sometimes, you know, if you feel like you're frustrated, you can't figure it out. I'm not sure where you guys are, where you are in your journey. And so maybe you've been trying for a year or a few months. You're like, oh, I can't figure it out. Or maybe you have some health issues you're trying to figure out. And you're like, man, it's so hard, so much information out there. Like, let me know if you can relate where you're feeling frustrated and you're like, I want to figure this out. I'm kind of feeling like poop. Like something has to work, but I feel like it's not working. And what I try, and you're just like in this weird place where you feel like you're feeling like, what's wrong with me? It's not working. Like, why can't I figure it out? Like, if you're here, you're in such a good place, even though it doesn't feel like it. And I'm saying that because that means like you're going to find your solution really, really soon because you've been trying to find one. And it just means you haven't found anything that works for you yet, right? You haven't found maybe something that's resonated. Maybe you haven't found something that you've been able to be consistent in, right? Something that hasn't really felt good to your body, your lifestyle, to what you're looking for. And that's okay if you're here, because I was here too. I want you to know that you can do this, right? There were so many days when I was in my journey, I was like, man, this is hard. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I still feel like shit. I've tried this, like trying intermittent fasting. I'm hungry. I'm angry. I'm mad. I'm moody, you know? And I'm like, man, like, why am I doing this? And then one day I actually got intuitive download, and I'll share more, but I now do intuitive eating because I truly believe we have so much power within us and our bodies have so much knowledge about us. And even though I have a lot of knowledge about nutrition, about, you know, went to school for 6 years, all the things, like your body knows you the best. And all I can do is help you tune in to listen to your body more, right? Of course, I can tell you to eat more vegetables and, you know, this thing and this balance your hormones and balance meals. And you're going to learn that today. But truly, like, your body is so powerful and you can do this. But a lot of it comes down to your mindset and your beliefs about yourself and learning to trust yourself. I'm going to talk about that too, but know that you're here for a reason. You're called to this masterclass for whatever reason. I'm spiritual. I believe everything happens for a reason. I'm not sure what you believe in, but whatever you do believe in, like, you're here, you're putting aside your 1 hour, which I'm so proud of you to do. Maybe a little bit over because I talk a lot, but you're putting aside time today to learn about your health, to put, you know, time and effort into your well-being, and that's ready to win. So I know if you're here, you're ready to take your life seriously, take your health seriously. And I want to say I'm proud of you already. I haven't got started yet, but I'm really proud of you because 12 people signed up for this, and I'm sure someone will watch the replay, but you guys are live, and that's incredible. And I forgot to mention at the beginning, but I'm doing a giveaway for those that are live. And so if you're live right now and you take an Instagram story and you tag me anytime during this masterclass, you share it to your stories, I will be picking random draw of one of you to do 1 week of coaching with me so I can help you further implement these things into your life. And so 1 week of coaching with me is actually worth like $400, but obviously I want to give back to those that are here and giving me their energy because I really appreciate the fact that you're here. So do that. If you want to win, enter the win, tag me in your stories sometime during the next hour. If you have an aha moment, you're like, oh my God, that was so good, guys, share it. And and I'll enter and I'll let you guys know who the winner is tomorrow. But anyway, the next thing I want to say is that's not true. So a lot of my life, I grew up believing that, oh, it's normal to have PMS symptoms and really bad cramps and, you know, have acne and be moody. And, oh, this is just how being a woman is. Let me know in the chat. You're like, oh, this is how being a woman is. Like, you can relate to that. Like, you just thought, yeah, well, this is normal. I'm in pain for a week every month. Oh, this is normal. Oh, I have low sex drive or whatever. Like, this is normal. I'm on birth control and I'm experiencing these symptoms. Oh, I guess that's normal. And like, I was told so many things about what we're supposed to feel. Oh, that's fine. That's just being a woman. And I think that's so, and growing up, I knew, I was like, this is not right. Like, I was on put on birth control the second I got my period because I had the worst PMS symptoms. I'll tell you more about that. And I was put on birth control right away. Like, didn't even ask me anything. Here, just go on this pill. And I really hate the Western system because that's all they do. It's like, here, pill, bye. And like, when I was 12, I was like, this is not right, but I was 12. So I took the pill for years and it just didn't sit well with me. And I was like, you know what? There is a better way. There is something I'm going to figure out. Like, and when I got older and I was able to be have more agency, I figured it out. I was like, I'm not going to be on birth control. I'm going to figure out how to do this. I'm going to heal my symptoms. I'm going to feel really good because I truly believe we're meant to feel good. We're not meant to experience these things. And so whatever you're experiencing right now, know that there is a way to change it. And what you're being told about health and like you need to be doing this and this is normal. Like that's so not true. And like the fact that I was able to do it means that you can too. And I just am really passionate about it because it really affected a lot of my life. Like I'm sure you can relate, those of you that are experiencing your current situation, like it affects your day-to-day, your mindset, how you feel, how you show up. If your relationship reflects that, it affects that, you know, so many things. And so it's not true, sis. We're gonna shift some things because I truly believe that the things that are planted within us and like told when we were younger, just a bunch of bullshit. So then it's our jobs now to like rewire and like learn new things, right? And anchor new things. So drop yes in the chat if you're here to rewrite the story you've been told and really take control of your own health and well-being. Okay. So you have a dream. We all have a dream. Yes, Grace. Yes, Desiree. And I would love to know what your dreams are actually. And it's really important because a lot of times we don't tie like our health to our dreams and our visions and our mission. And being, and I'm an entrepreneurial person, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, it's fine. But we all have goals in our life, whether it's to travel, to make more money, to impact more people, to whatever. And your health is the core of that dream. Like you cannot fulfill your dream to the fullest potential. You cannot live the life you want to live if you don't have your health, especially your mental health and your well-being and how you're feeling and your energy. And so this is so important. So I want to know what your dreams are. What are you working towards? What are your big, bold dreams? Like, what do you want to create in your life? Because when we're able to tie this to a deeper reason why we're doing this, why we're taking care of our health, why we're eating more vegetables, why we're going to the gym, whatever it is going to be for you. And I'm going to explain why this is important, but tying it to your bigger dream, your vision, your mission makes you so much more willing and motivated to do the things you have to do, right? So that's what I've been doing, like, because I wasn't always like, yeah, like it took me a while to be like, okay, now it's a norm, now it's my habit, but building some of these habits took me a long time. And I had to really like get my brain on board. And I'm going to talk about why later, but get your brain on board to all these things. And a way to do that is to tap it into your deeper mission and vision and dreams. And so what are your dreams? Let me know. I have a ton of dreams. I'll share some of them. I'm a big dreamer girl. I have some of the biggest. I'm like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but we're going to do it. I have like 4 different things I want to create, and I have a long life. I know it can happen. I'm not in any rush, but I want to create a wellness club, which is like a nightclub, but for wellness. So I like partying, and I like going out, and I want it to be a health promoting thing. I want to create my business for helping other women really tap into their optimal well-being and thrive from the inside out. I want my business to be a multi-million business with courses and programs and like holistic health and like this whole thing. I have such a big dream for this one because I really believe everyone needs to know about their bodies and like how to take care of themselves. I want to create a charity for young women of color because I didn't have that when I was younger, and my little sister, just tell you more about, she didn't have that support around your well-being, your health, your mental health, your confidence when you're younger, as a teenager, especially. I have a couple other ones, but that's good. That's good. Thank you for sharing, Desiree. Podcast. Yes, I love that. So good. Well, you can get it, girl. You can get it. I'm here to help that for sure. Anyone else want to share? I'm going to keep going, but thanks for sharing, Desiree. So my goal for this masterclass is to help you understand how to hack your hormones so you can thrive, baby. Thrive, like not just survive. I don't know about y'all, but there's so much of my life I was just barely surviving, just barely scraping by, you know, just like I feel like I was crawling on the pavement, just barely like getting by in my life. And I was like, what the this is not life. I'm like, I think there's a better way to live. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. And so people see me now, they're like, wow, Pearl, you're so wow, amazing. And like literally I was the opposite because I had a lot of things happen in my life, which I won't get into, but I just had to have conditioning that made me think a very negative way. I was very sad and mad and upset all the time, and life never worked out for me. And oh my God, I hated my life, and this sucked. And I was, I just wasn't a vibe. And I was like, dude, why am I like this? And I know why, but I decided to change it because unfortunately, we don't get to choose how we get conditioned, but we do get to choose how we move forward and change that conditioning. So I'm here to thrive, baby. Put a yes in the chat if you're here to thrive, not just survive. And you're here to take control and really shift some of the things that are holding you back. Yes, Jordan, I know you're in the online space. Family, want a family too. Oh, your own food, herbalism. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so here for this. Whenever you do that, Jordan, I'm here and I would love to collaborate because I'm all about that. All about that life. Yes, 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 yes. Is Grace still here? Hello, hello, Grace. I haven't seen you drop in the chat. Okay, keep going. So let me know if this sounds like you. Okay. You're overwhelmed with all the information out there. So you don't know where to start. So you end up just doing nothing. You're like, okay, someone said eating bread's bad. Someone said sugar is bad, carbs are bad. Oh, but someone said carbs are good. Oh, I can't eat past 7 p.m. Oh, wait, can I eat like what? Someone's like this, someone said that, someone said this, someone said that. And it's like this weird grapevine of all this information. And like, I don't even like, even myself as a nutritionist, dietitian, I'm like, I look online and I'm grateful I know what I do know because I'm like, this is all a bunch of bullshit. And it's being fed so many things. And it's overwhelming. I'm like, dude, stop that. But that's the problem with having people be able to post anything on the internet. Anyway, side tangent, but it's overwhelming. And so you end up like having analysis paralysis, right? Where you have so many options and you just don't know what to do. So sometimes you get overwhelmed and just like your response is to just do nothing. Okay. And that's okay if you're here. Maybe you find it hard to be consistent. Like 1 week, you're like, oh, I'm on top of the world. I'm thriving. Like, yes, sis. And then you get your period and you're like, oh my God, chocolate, cake, and candy. And you just like end up falling off. And you're like, okay, well, now I'm back to my square one. Just might keep eating pizza. And you just like can't be consistent. Maybe it's like a week or a day, or it's here or it's there, but it hasn't been like a long-term thing, right? Or maybe you tried a bunch of different approaches. You're like, okay, I'm going to try keto. I'm going to try intermittent fasting. I'm going to try Whole30. I'm going to try cutting this out, sugar, detox, fast. There's so many things. And you're like, all of these suck. I'm starving. I'm miserable. You know, you're like, this is not the vibe. And they didn't work for you probably because you weren't able to stick to them or they probably just weren't sustainable for you, right? Okay. And maybe you're none of these, but these are some common things I see all the time. And maybe you're tired, just feeling exhausted and low energy, and you're meant for more. Like you're meant to feel better. You know, somewhere deep inside, you're like, I'm not meant to feel this way. Let me know in the chat, this is you. Like, I know, like, whatever I'm feeling right now, or thinking, or experiencing, my energy and my hormone, whatever, is not normal. And I feel like there's better out there. Let me tell you, sis, there is. There is. And so you're going to experience that if you take action on the information. The biggest thing I'm going to really encourage you to do, you're going to hear me say this, is taking action. Because you can sit here and get all the information in the world, and I'm going to give you so much. And you're going to be like, oh my God, that's so good. And then in 2 days, you're going to be like, back to your old habits. And there's a reason we do this. I'm going to talk about it too, but we need to actually like take action on these things and get yourself a system that's going to help support you to be consistent long-term, not just for a week or a month, like actually transforming your health and healing your hormones, your gut, and all the things that we want to do to really be thriving human beings. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes consistency. So yes, be here, be present, but also take action. And we're going to talk more about that later. And some of that resonated, yeah? Drop yes in the chat if you're like, yeah, that was me. I'm feeling this way. I want to change it or whatever resonated. Be like, yep. Okay. So my secret formula. I feel like whenever I share this, I'm like a detective or like a mad scientist. Anyway, I've created this formula that I have implemented in my life. I've shared with many clients who've seen amazing results. And motivation. We'll talk about that for sure. This is my jam. Okay. When I tell you that motivation, like, because I've noticed this trend in the past when I started coaching, side tangent, but my clients weren't able to stay motivated after they worked with me. And I want you to actually not need me. My goal is for you to not need me because I want to go do other things. I want you to be able to be independent. So I was like, well, why are they not be able to? And so I dove into the mindset of motivation and like building habits. And anyway, I want to share more, but motivation is such a big piece. But my secret formula I created myself is energy equals M&Ms, not the candy, not the wrapper, but it's an acronym for what we do every single day to tap into our energy and to help support our body to heal and thrive. Now, I really simplified it today. Of course, there's so many other pieces to this. Like it's literally a whole program that I teach, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys too much. So I kept it very simple, very, tangible and practical for you. Now, if you want to learn more, obviously you can message me later, DM me, whatever, but it's simple for today. Now, the 4 parts of my secret formula are master your mindset, optimize your nutrition, more movement, and sleep. Okay, so MNMS, which is M&Ms. Easy to remember. This is something you can literally write down somewhere for you to remember every single day. Mindset, nutrition, movement, and sleep. Doing this every single day has literally transformed my life, and I'll tell you more. But since some of you don't know me, you're like, who's this chick who's babbling along, who's saying all this shit? I want to do a quick introduction for yourselves, for y'all. I'm Pearl. I used to be a dietitian. I'm now an entrepreneur. Long story short, Western medicine sucks. I realized that when I worked in the hospital. I was working with people that were sick, bedridden, and I was told to see X amount of patients and help them, but I wasn't actually able to help them because I only had like 15 minutes to check in on them. I had to spend all this time doing paperwork and like filling out data when I had to anyway. And I just realized there was lots of gaps in the system. And what I learned and what I was able to actually implement was really different because of how things are structured in the hospital. I have so many barriers to actually helping my clients, my patients, and the acute system's not built for long-term sustainable habit formation. Like lifestyle changes don't happen on the bedside when a dietitian comes to you and asks you what you eat. Lifestyle change happens from repetitive, consistent shifts in your daily lifestyle when you're at home. So I realized that I was like, I want to actually help more people. So quit my job. That was a whole thing and start my own business. Now we're here and I'm obsessed. If you don't know, if you haven't seen my page, my Instagram page, obsessed with dancing and helping people feel really good. Because I believe dancing is life. If you didn't tell by a dance party, and dancing has been really healing and liberating for me to really tap into my feminine energy and just really tune into form movement that makes me feel really empowered. And then helping others feel really good. So I used to feel really shitty. I used to be depressed, anxious, just like had a lot of mental health issues that were related to my health issues. And I just wasn't feeling good about myself, lacked confidence, mindset wasn't great. And now I learned how to make myself feel really good. And I want to help others do the same. So I'm on a mission to help other boss babes optimize their energy, mindset, and their health. And just feel so good in their bodies. Like, honestly, when I say I was like, oh, I just want to feel good. And that was like a year ago. No, I said it 3 years ago, and a year later, what I realized was I was able to feel phenomenal. If my feel good was a level 1, right now it's a level 10, and I know there's more. So it's when you start this journey, you don't even know what's coming because you get to feel so freaking good if you're consistent and build those habits, which you will. I know we're motivated bitches. I'm going to swear a little bit, but we're motivated people. And so, I said this already, so I can skip. I'm ahead of myself. Yes, honestly, I'll share my story. So now I'm all optimized and healthy. I'm thriving. We living our best life. Okay, but it wasn't always like this. Okay, I wasn't always this, like I mentioned before. It used to be me most days, not happy, moody. I'd wake up in the morning and I'd be like, I hate my life. Every single morning, I'd say, I hate my life. I feel like shit. I'm tired. I wouldn't want to get out of bed. I'd have to drag my ass out of bed to do anything. I wasn't motivated. I, low-key didn't love myself. I hated how I looked, even though I looked the same. This was me when I was not mentally, not good there. I was fit, quote unquote fit, right? But I hated my body. I thought I was fat. I didn't like the fat on my stomach. I thought I had to work harder. All these things. I had anxiety. I had my horrible PMS symptoms. I would get my period the first day and be in bed, literally fetal position, rocking back and forth, crying. I'm in pain. And I don't like taking pills. So I bear the pain and I'm crying in bed, canceling my plans, canceling work, can't go to class. Let me know. I'm not sure how bad your PMS symptoms are currently. I hope they're not that bad, but your girl, I was like, yo, I'm why? I hate you. No one tell me, And it was so shitty. And I was on birth control and I was this is not even helping. I went on birth control and it didn't even help my symptoms. I wasn't even sexually active. It made no sense. I was why put me on this thing? It's not even helping. Anyway, like, all the things. I just wasn't feeling how I wanted to feel. And I knew something was off. And I was like, something needs to change. It really needs to shift. And so when I was 19/20, no, more like 21, I decided to get off birth control and start doing the natural route, right? Doing a natural thing. And I had no idea what I was doing, honestly. This is before I started my degree. I was like, I just know my body doesn't like this and I don't want to be on it. And my intuition was like, stop it. So I did. And then I started to really tune into like what would make me feel good, like what's going to help me with all these things. And I started to cut out meat products and cut out the things I was eating that wasn't serving me and eat healthier. And I actually went vegan for a while. That wasn't the long-term things. I like, flexibility. And I learned about intuitive eating. But before that, I tried intermittent fasting. I tried this, I tried that. And, I tried a bunch of things and they didn't really work. They didn't make me feel good. I was always hungry. And I like eating food. So I don't like being hungry. And so intuitive eating came into my lap. And that was a beautiful thing that I now teach people. And slowly my mental health started to get better and better. But I still had things happening. And I wasn't fully optimized. I knew there was more. My little sister died. And that was a big event in my life. That sent me down the spiral of depression, anxiety, of like hating my life. And I was like, okay, I'm eating healthy. I'm vegan. I'm working out every day, but I'm still miserable. Now, of course, given someone dying in your life is a huge event. And I had, of course, to process that. And I understand I felt a certain way because of that. But something inside was like, still, this is not, I feel off. And so I dove a little deeper, really tried to figure it out. And I realized there's a big mindset piece of all these things. So I was doing the things like I was eating, I was sleeping, I was moving, I was all the things that are supposed to be making me happy and healthy, but I wasn't. And I realized it was like how I was thinking, my negative self-talk, how overwhelmed and stressed I was, how burnt out I was, how I was pushing myself to do all these things. And it just wasn't serving me. And so this is how I created my formula, because the mindset piece is actually one of the biggest. Obviously, nutrition and moving and sleep is really important, but it's the mindset. And we'll talk more about that. But now, after I've gone through this journey and I've learned all the things I'm going to share, I really realized like there's so much power within us. We are so powerful. We can do so many things. And sometimes you have to go through some shit to experience that and to realize that about yourself. And for me, that was my journey, going through all the health things and the PMS and my sister and this and that to make me realize like, you get to live an amazing life. Like now I get to be in photo shoots and dance and teach fitness and build a business and help others. And, I get to start dance parties. Like I get to really do what I truly want. One, because I believe in myself, but two, because I have the energy to. Right. And I have the health and I'm thriving because I want to. And so I want the same for you too. Woo, okay. So are you ready to dive into the formula? Drop a yes in the chat if we are. Drop a yes in the chat if we're ready to dive into the formula. I'm going to take a sip of water. Drink some water if you haven't yet. And thanks for listening. But I think it's important to know like kind of where I'm coming from and like what my background is, because I didn't want to start and be like, this is why I do what I do. This is why I've experienced. And like, this is what's done for me. And like, I want to share the same for you because I'm not special. Like, I truly believe every human has the potential to reach whatever else people have gotten, like other results that are available to you, to others are also available to you. Right. So let's dive into it. Okay. Now, before you're like, Pearl, what works for you is going to work for me. And I know this is like a psychological thing. Our brain likes to be like skeptical about some of these things. Like, oh, but what if it doesn't work for me? Oh my God. I want to give an example. Actually, I have many, but I only have two in here. But Nina, she went from low mood, like feeling anxious, depressed. She was skipping meals, not consistent, just wasn't working out, things like that. And she went from feeling literally phenomenal. I got a message from her, not this one, but if she's like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe this. What's happening to me? She's like, I'm so focused. I have energy. Like I'm performing better at work. I haven't ate chocolate in 5 days. And this chick was literally a chocolate addict. So she was like, I eat chocolate all day, every day because I'm obsessed. I'm addicted. And I was like, sis, you need help. And so we worked together and she was like, I haven't had chocolate in 5 days. And it was a huge win for her. And I share this because I want you to know that it's not just me that gets my personal results, but other people are able to get the results they want to, whether it's feeling better, not eating chocolate, energy, performing at work, like it's available. So we're going to dive into it. Let's get ready. Get your notepads out. All right, it's 444 fam. Make a wish. I'm spiritual. We're in alignment. Things are vibing. Okay, okay, okay. So energy, 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 energy. So when I say energy, I put this here because I want you to know that everything is energy. Woo, Grace, woo, more. Okay, everything's energy. And basically, a big part of what I do, what I teach, and what I believe in is to elevate our frequency, right? And a lot of things I do, and I'm going to talk about, are to help you elevate your frequency. Of course, yes, heal your hormones. Of course, yes, do the things and be healthy. But when our body is not in alignment, when our systems, when our organs, when our cells are not in their optimal states, we don't vibrate as high, if that makes sense. And so when we get ourselves into optimal health and well-being, also eating more high vibe foods and moving our bodies, which elevates our frequency and all the things, like you're able to vibrate higher. When you vibrate higher, you're a match for more things. And so this is getting a little woo-y, but I really believe like some of my clients that have optimized their health and like had the better energy and frequency, they're able to like create some of the most crazy shit. They're like, oh yeah, I just met my soulmate. Like Nina met her soulmate short after working with me. My other client got an $80,000 raise. Like, I can't make this shit up, dude. $80,000 raise because she decided she's been wanting it for a while. And she's like, I feel good about myself because we worked on her mindset and her confidence. And I was like, you should go for that job because you deserve it. And you are a boss ass babe and you have a lot of knowledge. She's like, yeah. And she went and applied for the job. Of course she got it because she was really good at what she did. She got an 80. I was like, sis, can I get a cut? I helped you. But like, you know what I mean? But so energy is important, and all the things we're doing is going to help you optimize your energy and elevate your frequency and just help you create a life you want to live, right? All the dreams we talked about. So before we dive in, I want to talk about self-trust. Self-trust. So I'm going to share a lot of things with you today, but know that maybe not everything's going to land with you, and that's okay. Not everything might be meant for you. But I want you to take what lands, take what you're like, ooh, like your body will respond like, oh, that was cool. Like, oh, I love what she said there. Take a note of that, like write it down, be like, I really resonated with that piece. And then run with it because not everything is going to land, and that's okay. I just want to make sure I cover a lot of things, but listen to what your body is telling you, like, oh, that was good. Like, that's what I need right now. And then run with it, right? Because it all comes down to you and trusting yourself and your body. And that's what I really encourage people to do when they work with me, or even outside of that. Like, your intuition knows best. You know best. Your body knows best. What we need to learn how to do is how to listen to our body, how to listen to the cues, how to, when our body tells us to go take a break and move, we actually do that. When your body tells you you're hungry, you actually go eat. You know what I mean? And so tuning into that, and that's been a big piece of my journey, like listening to my body when it's like, you need to sleep, you need to rest, go to bed early. I'll be like, okay, I will, instead of saying, oh no, I just want one more thing. I just have two more things to do. And I end up staying up to like 1 a.m. You know what I mean? So listening to that. Okay, the mindset piece. The mind, how are we doing so far? I'm going to check in. Are we liking this so far? I haven't dropped any information yet, but how are we doing? Drop in the chat. Great, amazing, happy you guys are here. Okay, diving in. So master your mindset. Oh, I'm so happy speaking to your soul, Jordan. Yes. Master your mindset. Now, I'm going to tell you why it's important. I'm going to tell you why everything I do is important. I'm not going to dive into the nitty-gritty sciencey stuff, because I found in my experience, the science stuff doesn't actually help you. You just need to know what the heck to do and why you need to do it. I don't need to tell you about all the things and the shifts. And I mean, I'm going to get a little bit sciencey, but just enough that you need to know to move forward. So I find sometimes you absorb information and it's like all this stuff and you're like, sorry, what did she just say? Like, what? And I'm like, no, I want to keep it simple. All right. So stress management and shifting thoughts that don't serve us is one of the most powerful things, because when we're stressed, we release something called cortisol, right? Cortisol is our stress hormone. And when we release this cortisol, it initiates our stress response. Our adrenal gland releases cortisol, which releases a stress response. This stress response usually puts our body into fight or flight mode. Let me know if you heard about this. Maybe some of y'all know about this, but a review is always good. Puts our body into fight or flight mode, right? into our sympathetic nervous system. In this state, we do not digest well. Our immune system is downregulated. Some of our brain is shut off. We don't have as much access to our bodily functions because in this state, our body thinks we're in danger, right? Thinks we're being chased by a lion, like literally, because our brain has not evolved to match our current life. Like life has really evolved, but our brains are still really like the word I'm looking for, reptilian, I'll say. Amazing grace. So because of this, our brain does not know the difference between us reading a negative comment on TikTok or being chased by a lion. Okay. And so it has no way to, because that response is just always there. It's the same, right? It's our automatic response. And so when we're stressed out, we release cortisol, stress response, body goes in fight or flight, organs shut down, we don't digest, we don't do this. And we're just sitting there scrolling social media. But our body's like, and all these things are happening that we don't actually, maybe you're more anxious. Maybe you're like, stressing out. You start worrying about more things, right? You're more anxious when you're in this state because we think we're going to die. So people that have anxiety, oftentimes they're in the state of fight or flight. And oftentimes they don't eat enough and their blood sugars drop, which is another reason why our body will go into that state. That's another reason. And now we're in this state. And of course, a lot of humans that aren't very conscious and mindful of this end up being in our fight or flight state every single day because we don't do the things we need to do to calm down our nervous system. And over time, we're in this state, our body is not optimized, our organs aren't working, we're not digesting properly, we feel bloated, we get sick because our immune system's down, we don't sleep well, and this cascade happens because once in a while, we don't get chased by lions every day. When we were back in the day, we don't get chased by lions every day. But now we are stressed out every single day. We're so activated. We're on social media. We're working. We're stressed. We got to make money. Oh my God, the bills. Oh no, this, that. Oh, parents. Our relationships. There's so many things, and we're always so on the go. Let me know if you can relate. And we don't take time to turn off, to calm down, to de-stress, to just chill the fuck out. And this was me. I never chilled out ever. And I was stressed. I remember when I was the most burnt out in my life, my PMS symptoms and my mental health was the worst ever been. And I remember working my ass off to build my business when I first started business. Because I thought, I have to work 12-hour days. And I got caught up in the bro marketing and you must hustle and send cold DMs. And oh my God, I got to post 10 times a day and be on LinkedIn and social. And I was like, okay, yeah. And I did it. And I burnt so hard. I was miserable. My body was not happy. I wasn't even prioritizing myself and well-being. And so when I say shifting thoughts that don't serve us, it's the thought that you need to work harder. It's the thought that you're not enough. It's the thought that you need to do more. It's the thought that, I can't take this extra 10 minutes to slow myself down or go for a walk because XYZ, because da, da, da. You know what I mean? It's these thoughts. And it's learning how to shift these thoughts. And this actually comes down, there's a much deeper piece to this. And I do a lot of limiting belief work with my clients because everything comes down to our beliefs, what we believe we deserve. And that's what fuels your actions. And so me just telling you just don't work as much. Girl, why are you working so hard? It's why do you believe you need to work so hard? What are you trying to prove? And for me, I was trying to prove to my dad that I was successful. And that caused me to work my ass off, burn out. And my dad didn't give a fuck. But I thought in my brain, all these stories we tell ourselves. So it's what stories are you telling yourselves? What's stressing you out in your life? What things are not, really helping you get to where you want to be? Now, this is important to your hormones because when we use our cortisol, when you use it all up because we're stressed every single day, we don't make that much. We're not meant to be stressed out this much. So now our body needs to go and create cortisol. And what it does, it uses progesterone. Progesterone is one of our sex hormones that contributes to our cycles and our hormones, all the things. When we use up our progesterone, that causes a shift and an imbalance in our hormones. And this imbalance causes what most people experience: painful periods, mood swings, bloating, weight gain, stress, anxiety, depression, skin issues. The list goes on and on. So being stressed affects your hormones. So we need to manage our stress. That's the root of it. And what causes your stress? In my experience, a lot of it is your own self pressures, your own limiting beliefs, and your own narratives around how you should be working. Because no one was making me work. No one was making me work 12 hours a day. I was choosing to, because I thought that I needed to be successful, to make 10K months so my dad could love me. And this goes deep. I'm sharing this because it goes deep. And we're not gonna be able to dive into everyone, but like, what is gonna really serve you is taking a moment after this masterclass and be like, what's stressing me? Why am I doing this? What do I believe? And why? And shifting that. Until I learned to be like, I'm enough, I'm doing enough, and learning to validate yourself. Because I was looking for external validation from others, from my dad specifically, due to inner child stuff. And this is the work I get to do with people too, but it's like, well, why? Like, and we get to really shift those deeper things, because that's what's causing you stress, right? Okay, let me know if that landed. That's the piece. There's so much more to mindset, but that's one of the most important things I can share. Like, honestly, how we tell ourselves the stories that make us do all these things that we don't actually need to do. And I want you to think about, what do you actually want to do? Because I found myself doing things I didn't want to do for years. I didn't want to work at the hospital, actually, right? But I became a dietitian because my dad told me to. And I didn't want to be a dietitian, actually. I want to dance. Like, I love dancing, and I'm blessed. Honestly, everything happens for me. I believe that. And I became a dietitian so I can help people with their health. I believe that. But where are things that aren't even yours? Like, where in your life are you doing things that aren't yours, that you don't want, that are other people's dreams, other people's impressions onto you? And I know it's a lot. It is huge, Desiree, but take a moment to pause and think about that. Because I believe you'll change a lot in your life if you just take a pause and be like, why am I doing this? And really be like, okay, wow, that's actually not even my dream. Like, what? I don't even want to do this. And then I quit my job and went traveling because I wanted to travel. So I did. So where are you not letting yourself do the things you want to do? Because when you live a life that's more in flow, that's more in alignment, where you do the things that you truly want to do, where you listen to your soul's calling, you're less stressed. When you're less stressed, you're more optimized and you're healthier, right? Okay, we'll move on, but that's a big, big, big piece. Okay, let me know if any of that landed. How are we doing? Okay, so optimize your nutrition. This is, again, I'm sharing some of the biggest things I can share with you humans. So like, if any of you decide to do this on your own, which is totally fine, these pieces are going to absolutely change your life. The next one is balanced meals. Okay, eating balanced meals. This one, if you just get this piece and do it every day for forever, like, you'll see massive shifts in your health, in your mindset, in your energy, in your gut. Like, so balanced meals, maybe some of you have seen this, is from the Canada's Food Guide. Balanced meals, we want to have about half our plates. Oh, go back. Half our plate be full of vegetables and or fruits, like things that are colorful, nutritious, have lots of fiber, right? You want one fourth of your plate to be a lean protein, ideally. And you want the other fourth of your plate to be a carb or a starch, okay? Now, this is what you want your food to be. Now, no one actually eats like this, and the meals don't look like this. But one thing I want you to always think about, like literally always, every single time you eat a meal, this is what I ask myself every single day in my life. Okay, do I have fiber? Do I have protein? Do I have carbs? Do I have a healthy fat? Great, I'm good. That's a balanced meal, and I'm going to explain why it's important. But a lot of times people are not eating balanced meals that have enough protein, that have enough fiber, that have enough carbs, that have enough of the components to make it easier on our blood sugars. And I'm going to explain why it's important. But every single time you eat, moving forward from watching this, I want you to ask yourself, is this balanced? And there's only 4 things you need: protein, carbs, fiber, healthy fats. And we only need a little bit of healthy fats, but something in there that has some sort of healthy fat in it. Now, the reason why a lot of dietitians / nutritionists don't make fiber a separate category, I do, because fiber is super important for your gut health, for your cholesterol levels, for your blood sugars, there's so many things. And so fiber is its own category because it's so important. And if I just said, go eat some carbs, most people just go eat bread or rice, right? Like, let me know in the chat. When I say carbs, what do you think of automatically? We're conditioned to think carbs are bread, rice, pasta, right? Exactly, Desiree, exactly. So if I just said, go eat some carbs, you're not going to think of eating vegetables. But there are carbs in vegetables. Like, vegetables do give us a carb source, but people don't think like that. So, and I realized there's a gap in the system. When you just say eat carbs, people don't eat vegetables. Complex carbs. And even if I say complex carbs, people will think, oh, okay, maybe she means like brown bread. But so fiber is a whole separate category because we got to get our fiber intake in. And some complex carbs have fiber for sure. But the amount of fiber we need to get in our intake, which is 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day, it's way easier to get it through vegetables and fruits and whole grains, okay? So that's why it's separate. So 4 categories, remember: proteins, carbs, fiber, and a little bit of healthy fat, okay? Every single meal, do your best, okay? I don't expect to be perfect. I'm not perfect. There's some meals that aren't balanced, but more often than not, the more you can get your meals balanced, the more you get your blood sugar in the range, which I'll talk about, the better. All right? Okay, is that landing? Yes, put yes in the chat. That made sense. Grace. I said great. I saw your name, Grace. I said Grace. Anyway, great. Yes. Okay, so blood sugar roller coaster. This is a big reason why we have some of the symptoms we do have. And I'm going to try and keep this pretty basic, but when we eat food, we digest it. Specifically, when we eat carbs, we digest it and we create glucose. Okay, glucose. Yes, sugar. When we get this glucose, it causes our blood sugars to rise, right? We get more sugar in, blood sugars rise. Makes sense, right? Now, there's a healthy range. If you see the yellow bar here is the healthy range, like the suggested range. And that's the range where we're optimized, our body's in a good state. It's in equilibrium. Basically, when your blood sugars are in this range, we're safe, we're good. This is a good range. Things are flowing. We have enough energy. We're killing it. Our body feels good when our blood sugars are in this range. Now, when we eat a balanced meal with all the 4 components, our blood sugar is going to be in this range, which is beautiful. That's what we want. But when we eat, for example, let's say white bread with honey on it for breakfast with a coffee with sugar, okay, that's a lot of carbs. And carbs aren't bad, but what is not optimal is unbalanced carbs, because what happens is we have an influx of high glycemic index foods or foods that have a lot of sugar in them, and our blood sugar spikes outside normal range. So our blood sugar spikes like up here outside the normal range, and what goes up must come down at the same rate. So it spikes up. There's nothing to help buffer it. So why fiber, protein, and healthy fats are important to our blood sugars? Because imagine this, when we eat food or bread or whatever that doesn't have anything else, it's only glucose, it's pure glucose. But when we have some protein, some fats, some fiber, it like layers on top of the glucose. Now, this is not what actually happens, but this is for a visual, okay? So our body now needs to work through the layers of the other things to get to the glucose, and it doesn't cause an increased spike in our blood sugars. We want the slow release of blood sugars. To get the slow release, we need the other layers of the other components of food to help us get a slow release, right? So when we don't have the other components of food and we eat an unbalanced meal, causes a spike up, causes a spike down. There's nothing to buffer it. There's no other things to help the slow release of sugar. So it crashes down, and when it crashes, we're hungry, we have sugar cravings, we get moody, we want to take a nap, we lose focus, we get brain fog, right? Like we're at our desk working, all of a sudden we can't concentrate. You want to go. Let me know if you ever experienced any of that, right? And that was what happens when your blood sugar crashes. Another thing that happens when your blood sugars drop, your body now is on alert, because when our blood sugars drop, it actually is a danger sign. Like when they drop a certain level, our body then goes into danger mode. It's like, oh, blood sugars are low. We need food. And so what actually happens, we get anxious. Oh my God, since you're 15, Jordan. Oh, well, I hope some of this is going to support you. There's other reasons for brain fog too, for sure. There's multiple reasons for brain fog. This is one of them. Our body now is in alert state, also known as anxiety. We get anxious when our blood sugars drop. And a lot of people don't realize this. And so, because your body's like, oh no, what's happening? We need food. Oh my God, are we dying? Are we okay? And that anxiety turns into other anxiety in our life. So keeping our blood sugars in balance is so important. It's so key. Another thing I'll share, which is a fun fact, when our blood sugars really spike up, insulin spikes up to also match it. Insulin is another hormone. Insulin is the hormone that tells our body to absorb nutrients, tells our body to intake nutrients, to fill up the cells with nutrients and all that fun stuff, okay? I call it our fat hormone, but it's not. But it's the hormone that tells us to uptake. Like, yeah, there's sugar in the blood. We're going to take it up into the cells so we can fuel the cells for the cells to do their job, mitochondria, all the fun stuff, okay? Now, when we're in a state of releasing insulin all the time, especially more excessive amounts of insulin, this actually tells our body to be in a state of always consuming, of always keeping, absorbing things from the cells, absorbing things, storing fat, right? When we have too much sugar in the cells and it stores as fat, stores as this. It's a storage hormone, insulin. And people that struggle to lose weight often just have higher amounts of insulin being released. Because when your body has insulin being released, it won't let you lose weight because your body's telling it to store the fat or to store the nutrients that are in the body. Your body is not going to let go of the weight because the insulin's in the body. So a great way to help yourself lose weight is to eat balanced meals to release less insulin. So your body now knows it's safe to let go of some weight. I learned this in school and I was like, oh. Anyway, balanced meals are going to help you immensely. Okay, that's my little spiel. That's all I want to cover. Does that make sense? Is this landing? Yeah, right? It's crazy. Yeah, so balanced meals, less insulin, you're able to lose weight easier. Now, okay, there's other reasons you don't lose weight, but this is a big one. Amazing. Okay, now this is probably common, but I'm just going to share it anyway. What we need to eat more of is whole grains, is fruit, is veggies, is legumes, is proteins, nuts and seeds, vitamin D, because most people are deficient in vitamin D. That's one of the only things I recommend people supplement is vitamin D. Otherwise, I have to do like a nutritional analysis to let you know what else. But vitamin D, healthy fats, and water. We need more water. Speaking of water, drink some water. Okay. Now, we all know we need more of this. I'm not going to spend too much time here. But notice that I'm not of the approach. Cut out all these things and stop eating this. And, oh my God, you can't have this. This is bad for you. Oh my God, no sugar. Like, I'm human. I love to go out to eat. I love my sweets, but it's the balance. I understand balanced meals and my blood sugars and eating more things that are good for me than not. Like, I'm never going to tell you to not eat something. I'm going to ask you, how did that make you feel after you ate it? Can you balance this out? How often do you eat it? Like things like that. Because I really believe we get to enjoy our lives. Like I get to eat whatever I want and enjoy my life and be the healthiest version of myself. I live in an and world. It's not, oh, I can only be healthy and I can't eat pizza or oh, I can't eat pasta or no, you can eat all those things. Let's just make it healthier. Let's just make it more balanced. Let's just kind of shift how often you're eating some of these things, right? Yeah, that's how I've been living my life because I used to cut out all these foods. And I'm like, okay, I used to cut out peanut butter. And I'm like, I fucking love peanut butter. Because like peanut butter has too much fat in it. And I was like, yo, I was literally sad that I couldn't eat peanut butter. And I was like, you know what? Screw y'all, I'm going to eat peanut butter. And like, it's not the fact that I ate too much peanut butter. It's the fact that I was wasn't even I was eating too much other stuff, but like it's the overall holistic view of what you're eating. Like where am I getting my fat from? Cool, peanut butter. I'm okay with that. I'm not getting it from deep fried chicken. You know what I mean? Like I need fat. I choose to get it from peanut butter and nuts. And that's my jam. Okay. You get to choose where you get your things from. And it gets to be balanced. And you also get to enjoy your life. Like I truly believe you get to have both. And when you eat in a way that fuels your soul and your body, that's when you're really happy. Like soul food is for the soul. Nourishing foods for the body. Obviously, eat it in a good balance. We get to figure that out for you. But like, it gets to be fun. You get to eat what you love, and it gets to be a vibe. Now, 1 second, my computer's dying. I'm gonna grab my charger. But in the meantime, take a stretch break if you're sitting, move around for a sec. Stretch breaks are also super important. Speaking of movement, this is a great time to move. Okay. Okie dokie artichokes. All right. Wow. Dang, guys. I have a meeting. Okay, let me message someone because I'm like, I have a meeting and I'm not going to make it because I want to finish this off and make sure you have everything you need. So, but I'm going to speed it up. So if you have any questions, oh my God. Okay. But how are you feeling so far about this? Let me know in the chat and then I will just send this message quickly and then we'll finish off. I really should have known. I was like, I should cancel my meeting. But I didn't. And now we're here, but it's fine. Power. What I need. Okay. Love this. Beautiful. Great. Beautiful. Okay. So happy you guys are here. Movement. More movement. More movement. So ideally, we want to aim to get 30 minutes of movement a day. Okay. And when I say movement, people get this all messed up. They think I mean you need to go work out at the gym and sweat your buns off and run on a treadmill and lift the weights and sweat. Yeah, no, I mean movement. I mean walk. I mean dance. I mean yoga. I mean whatever you feel like is gonna really serve you. Sorry, my computer. Oh, there it is. Sorry, it wasn't charging. Okay. So 30 minutes a day of movement. I'm curious, drop in the chat. What are you currently doing for movement right now? And some of those days we'll be working out, sweating. Yes, you need to get your heart rate up. It's super important. But getting daily movement is just so beneficial for so many reasons. Walking so underrated. You know, there's so many ways to get other enjoyable forms of movement because I don't want you to sit there all day. We need to move our body and being intentional with it, right? So making sure it's enjoyable, making sure it's sustainable, something you can do for a long time in terms of like for months, for years, something you can see yourself doing. And you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to shift and change things and try new things, which is amazing. But getting the intention of getting movement in every day is so powerful, right? And I say enjoyable because I used to make myself go to the gym and like do all this workout. Yeah, lift the weights and squat. And, I liked it for a bit. And I was like making myself lift these heavy ass weights. Like, why am I doing this? Like, I don't even want a dump truck booty. Like, I like my booty how it is. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't even want a bigger butt. Like, what? And so I just had to, again, check in with myself. Like, what do I love doing? What do I want to do? Why am I making myself work out so hard? Again, it was like an inner thing. And I shifted it. And so now I actually don't lift weights anymore. People are surprised because I'm still really fit. I just work out in other ways. I use light weights. I'm more of a high rep girl now. And I like to do HIIT and dance cardio and yoga and dance, and movement. And I do spike ball. I go to the beach and I go for runs and I do whatever I feel like doing, but it gets to be what you love. And it doesn't have to be at the gym. If you love the gym, get it, girl. Like, yes, I will be back in the gym because I kind of miss it now. But it gets to be what you want to do. And I really appreciate that. And I think people think it's only has to be a certain way, but it doesn't have to be a certain way. Yes, dance parties are the best, Grace. I love that, Jordan. Yes. And again, it has to be something you enjoy. So maybe for you, Jordan, it's going to be walks or maybe at home Pilates or some more lower impact, lower intensity movement for yourself. And the last thing is increasing NEAT, which means non-exercise activity thermogenesis. All right. Which just means fancy word to say a way to get your body temperature up without exercising. So basically, like, how can we get different types of movement into the day without actual like exercise? So things like, walking instead of taking the bus, taking the stairs, parking a little further, getting some movement in between, like just ways you can move your body that aren't like I'm working out right now, but it's like I'm moving, like I'm stretching while I watch TV, I'm stretching while I listen to a podcast. I'm, other ways to think about how you can get movement in. I'm taking a stretch break. Like every hour I get up from my desk, I move, I take a stretch break, do a few squats or whatever, right? So non-exercise ways to get that movement in, right? So this is important, and making sure you find it sustainable and at least 30 minutes a day. Of course, if you do more than 30 minutes a day, it's amazing. If you do less than 30 minutes a day, that's also amazing. Like this is like average ideal, but some days we get busy, fam, things happen. You have a day where you're jam-packed and maybe you can only do like a 10-minute walk or a 5-minute dance party or whatever. Like, I think that's okay. As long as it's like you are mindful and like during the other days you get the movement in. But on the days you're really busy, like whatever works, and you're able to just be okay with getting whatever you did in for that day, right? Okay, moving on, we're going to sleep. Sorry, it's rude. Loud. Okay, so sleep. Let me know, have you ever experienced you sleep for 8 hours, but you wake up feeling tired, low energy, groggy, you wake up, you're like, oh my God, like that was the worst sleep ever. So I used to have the worst sleeps. It would take me like an hour to get to bed. I would toss and turn. I would be up. My anxious thoughts would keep me up. My mind is racing about all the things I had to do and about how I forgot to do things today. And oh my God, and tomorrow, oh my gosh, like, oh, work and oh, man, like this and this. And, and I get up, I would be so tired. I wouldn't want to get out of bed. I'd be, I'm so tired. Oh my God, hit the snooze button, hate my life. I used to get up. That was me every single day. And then I was like, dude, why can't I sleep well? Like I would sleep for 8 hours, but I would feel like I didn't get much sleep. I would toss and turn at night and I would wake up and I just wouldn't feel good. And I was like, man, I'm low energy. Like, why? I want to wake up feeling good. I want to wake up, get out of bed, like, oh, we're here to slay the day. Let's go, Drop yes in the chat if you want that too. So I did a lot of sleep research. So I was like, I'm going to figure this out. So I'm the type of person that's like, if something's not right in my life, I'm going to figure this out. Let me know if you're the same. I'm like, hormones are whack. My PMS symptoms are shit. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to heal them. Cool. My sleep is whack. I'm going to figure it out. My anxiety's off the chart. I'm going to figure it out. And a lot of things actually all really related to each other. Amen, Grace. Yes, Desiree. So I figured it out. I was like, you know what? I'm going to figure it out myself. And I listened to a ton of podcasts. I read books. I trained myself. I listened to hypnosises and I did so many things that helped me with my sleep and my routines and this and that and this and that. And it worked, but I had to find what worked for me. And one thing I'm going to tell you is you try. You're doing good. You're going to get it, girl. That's why you're here. You're doing it. There's a lot of noise in the sleep world that, oh, you have to go to bed at the exact same time and you have to get up at the exact same time and you must have this and this and this and this and that and that and that and perfect, And I was like, yo, I'm not going to bed at 10 p.m. on a Friday. I want to go party and shake my ass at the club. And I want to do this with my friends. I want to live my best life. And I'm like, I don't believe you have to go to bed the same exact time every night so you get a good sleep. And I was like, I'm going to test this out. And you know what? For me, I figured out a way for me to find a way for myself to sleep without having to go to bed at the exact same time and get amazing sleep every single night without need that routine. I could go party my ass off and get home at 4 a.m. and sleep like a baby, regardless. And I was like, well, that's cool. Well, why are they telling people they have to go to bed at the same time? And like, it took me a long time to get here. Don't get me wrong. It took me a long time to get here. But what it actually comes down to is your brain's release of certain chemicals to get yourself in a state of sleep. And this release can be triggered by certain things. It's a habit loop in the brain. So I was able to train myself and train my brain to create this habit loop. So when I do this, and this, my brain knows it's time for bed. And I kid you not, I fall asleep in literally 2 minutes. My friends are always like, how do you fall asleep so fast? Like, that's incredible. Like, I went to a festival last weekend and they're like, how did you fall asleep? And I'm like, because I train my brain to. And it's incredible. Like, this unlocks so much for me around what's possible for myself and my brain and my neurosystem, neuroscience and my nervous system. Because like once you train your brain and condition yourself to do a certain thing, it's game over. Like our brain is so cool. You get like, I geek out about this shit because we have programming. A lot of it doesn't serve us, unfortunately, but you get to reprogram yourself. And when you do, it's like, yo, you get to reprogram new things and you get to choose what you program. And I thought that was so cool. Like, yo, I just programmed myself to sleep in 2 minutes like that. And I just like blew my mind because now it's like I can program myself for anything. Right. And so these are a couple of things that really, really help me. But know that it comes down to association and routine. Okay. First thing is decrease your blue light exposure. And you hear this a lot, decrease your blue light exposure. But it's really important because it really affects your melatonin production in the brain. And melatonin helps you sleep. Okay. So an hour before bed, put on your blue light blockers, whether you have glasses or whether you have the on your phone or computer. There are settings, right, to make your screen warmer, to decrease your blue light. Because blue light tells our body and signals to our body that it's daytime, right? That it's during the day, that we should be out and about doing things. We're active, we're in our higher frequency states of being in our brain waves. And that's what blue light tells us. So when we're on the phone and there's blue light at night, our body gets a signal like, oh, it's blue light hitting my eyes, must be daytime. So I'm not going to fall asleep. I'm not going to make melatonin because it's daytime, even though it's 1 a.m. and you're like on your phone, but you need to sleep. So really cutting out the blue light an hour before you bed. I mean, earlier the better, but at least an hour before you go to bed. Wow, Desiree, right? Wow. My mind was blown too. The other thing is we need to downregulate our nervous system. What I mean by this is we have certain states of being and brain waves. When I mentioned that we're always stressed out, that's our beta, fight, or flight. We need to get out of that state before we go to bed. The problem is most of us don't. Most of us go to bed in that state. We literally go right from our phone to our bed and our mind's racing and we're, can't fall asleep for an hour. And we wonder why we can't fall asleep, but our body's still in its regular state. We need to shift it. We need to transition, right? So I do that through vagus nerve regulation or vagus nerve activation, which is a fancy way to say I take deep breaths to stimulate my vagus nerve that brings my body down to its rest and relaxed state. I meditate, I stretch, I turn off the lights. I do a lot of things to change my environment, but just know that it's creating a shift so your brain knows it's bedtime. For me, I turn on my pink rock salt lamp. I listen to chill music. I stretch, I meditate, I breathe really deep breaths, deep, slow breaths, and bring myself down. So before I go to bed, I'm ready for bed. Like before I go to bed, I'm ready falling asleep because my body is so relaxed. I'm like, okay, bedtime. So by the time I get in my bed and my head hits the pillow, I'm out like a light, sis. You don't see me. And I don't wake up until I need to wake up. That's amazing. I don't wake up until I need to wake up because I get really good rest, non-interrupted sleep because I train myself to. Okay. And again, that ties into the routines associations, right? So when your brain associates, okay, Pearl, turn the light on, Pearl, put the music on, it's bedtime. And I do that routine every single night, no matter what time I go to bed. I could do this at 10 a.m. I could do this at 1 a.m., 10 p.m. My brain knows because it's been trained for so long that this is what we're doing. So this goes on, Pearl's going to bed. Okay, Pearl falls asleep fast. And that's how easy it gets to be. But again, you need to train yourself. It's like training a dog to do a new trick. It takes repetition, but it literally is incredible once you do it enough times and you get the habit. And it's just like automatic now. I barely have to try to fall asleep when I fall asleep by doing my routines. So I want you to think about what routines you can do, what you can start doing to get yourself in that state, deep breaths, meditation. You don't have to do it all. I added onto it as I built it, right? Don't be like, oh my God, I have to do all these things. No, you get to do one or two, but really the down regulation of your nervous system is one of the most important things. So make sure you breathe, block the blue lights, no phones. I would say no screens, at least half an hour before bed. And that's when I breathe. That's when I stretch. That's when I chill. My music's on. I'm vibing. It's bedtime. And that's why I do it every single night before bed. And now I'm at a place where I don't have to do 30 minutes. Now I can literally do a 5-minute wind down and I'm falling asleep. But again, it takes work to get there. And that's okay. You'll get there, but just keep at it. All right. How are we doing? Okay. Whew. I'm gonna have to whip through the next ones because I can only push my meeting so far. And I told her 5:30. So your girl got 5 minutes. Okay, anyway, hope it's been great so far. I love y'all for sticking around. We're gonna whip through the next bit, but I will have time. If you have any questions in the DMs, DM me. Okay. Yeah, honestly, this is my program in bite size. There's so much information I want to share with you guys. That's why it's so long. There's so many good nuggets I want to share. Anyway, okay. Susan literally found her energy back after implementing these things, my formula, the mindset, nutrition, sleep, movement, and she got her energy back. She feels good during the day, no more fatigue. She's not burnt out. She doesn't drag herself through her days. She really, really got her life back. And I want you all to get your life back as well. And I know it's possible for you because I did and she did and my other clients have. And your life will transform when you really take care of your energy and your hormones, okay? Now this part, everyone's like, I'm so busy. I don't have time. I have so many things to do. Oh my gosh. And I've been here. Literally, I juggle lots of things. I'm doing it all. But I want to challenge everyone. If you have this thought come up where you're like, I don't have time, which we all have this come up sometimes, you do. It's about reallocating your time to things that actually matter. Look at your screen time. How much do you scroll? How much do you overthink? How much do you lay in bed in the morning? There's little things we do every single day. You have time. We just need to reallocate our time, right? So a few things that helped me with this, because I used to be like, I have no time. It's like create non-negotiables for yourself. I don't care what happens today. I move my body for 5 minutes. Cool. That's a win. I'm going to eat more vegetables. Whatever your non-negotiables are, I suggest they be something related to the M&Ms, right? And then you ask yourself, instead of saying, I don't have time, you ask yourself, how can I make time? And the amazing thing about the brain is when you ask it a supportive question, the answers will come. Our brain is like our own Google search. If you ask it questions that serve you, it will give you answers. I mean, if you ask a question that don't serve you, it'll give you answers. It always gives you answers. But ask, how can I make time? And then you'll have an idea. Oh, maybe I can cut this out. Or maybe I don't need to do this. Or, maybe I can just do a quick 5-minute workout instead. Oh, make the time. Because we make times for things that are important to us, right? Something I tell myself and my clients, anything is better than nothing. Cool, a busy day, you only had 10 minutes. Amazing, do a 10-minute workout. That's better than nothing. You couldn't eat your vegetables at breakfast. Cool, eat some at lunch. Anything's better than nothing. You know what? That's my motto. Anything's better than nothing. We get it done because that's a win and you move forward, okay? And then, like I mentioned before, assess where you're wasting your time in your day, right? Where are you wasting time? Where are you spending too much time? Where are you overthinking? Where can you cut something out? Where can you, get up earlier or go to bed earlier so you get up earlier? There's so many things that we can look at in our day. And this is why one of the first things I do with my clients, I do I call it an energy audit. where we audit all these areas of your life to see like where your time is going, where your energy is going, what you're eating, what you're doing, how you're sleeping, like all these things we audit to really reassess. And you believe like people have so much time in their day, but the things they're doing just aren't serving them, right? Okay. The biggest thing, and after this, I gotta hop off because girl, I'm really ready for this meeting. Is your mindset and your thoughts. And like I talked about this earlier, so I'm not gonna dive too deep into this, but this is where all the work lies because we know what we need to do. Like, I believe you are all smart, incredible people. You know you need to eat healthy. You know you need to work out. You know you need to go out. You know the things. What I share with you probably isn't rocket science. I'm sure some things blew your mind, yes, but the basics: sleep, eat, move, de-stress, right? You've heard this, but it comes down to the mindset, the subconscious mind, the ego when you're making changes, understanding what your brain does when you want to do something new, understanding what happens when you're in a stress state, understanding these things, right? Knowing that you need to stay motivated. How you do that, which you mentioned, Desiree. I mean, I think Grace mentioned motivation, and I would love to dive in deeper, but right now I don't have time. But creating a dopamine response, like how can we create motivation? I'm a big believer that we can be motivated every day. I hear it like, oh, don't rely on motivation. But actually, our brain relies on motivation. Our brain relies on dopamine. So instead of saying, don't rely on motivation, it's how can I learn how to rely on motivation to get my desired result? Because for me, the not motivating thing didn't work for me. I was like, I looked into the psychology behind it. Our brain relies on motivation, on dopamine. That's the only reason why we do things, because we get a release of something. So it's like, okay, well, how can I release something and attach it to my desired goal? And so I learned about this, and I was like, let me put these two together. And I created motivation every single day in my life because you can be motivated. And so it's knowing these little things and hacks to help yourself get there. And it's in the way you speak to yourself. It's in the way you position things, in the way you convince yourself either to do things or to not do things. And that's what helps you take the action every day. It's how you speak, it's how you think, it's what you believe about yourself, about what you deserve, about what you're worth, about all the things. So your mindset and thoughts and the deeper subconscious shifts are needed to actually be consistent every single day are what's going to get you the results. Because you know what you need to do. We know what we need to do, but it's the deeper reasons you're not doing them that we need to dive into. And that's the thing. Most of my work isn't telling you to eat more vegetables. It's why are you not? It's how can we get you to? It's what motivates you. It's how can we get your brain on board? It's how can we de-stress your body so your nervous system can relax so you can feel safe to make the changes in your body. And this is where the work is. I might do a whole nother masterclass on just this, honestly, because I have to go. But I want to say, I just shared all my tips and watch it again if you need to. This will be posted in the Lit Up Club. I'll send an email out. I need to hop on my meeting, but I love you all so much. If you want to work with me or you want to learn about what I do, if you want to help or support, because some of you can do this on your own and I want you to, but if you know you need accountability, if you know you need that person in your corner, that coach, that cheerleader to help you with these results and with these shifts and with the mindset shifts, I'm your girl. I'm your girl. You can DM me after. And again, if you want to enter the contest, enter the giveaway, tag me. I love you all. I got to hop off. I will be messaging you all later to hear about what you thought, but you're so welcome. And please go take some action. Go think about what served you. Go think about what really landed for you today and go make changes ASAP Rocky. Because as I say, when you take action, you make shit happen. So go thrive, go balance those hormones. And I love you all so much. Okay, I gotta hop off. Bye.